I'm your host, Tanir, and we have a wonderful guest with us today. I'm going to allow her to introduce herself.
Hi everyone, I'm Cashé Arielle.
Yes, so Cachet is definitely going to go into detail about her story.
Hi everyone, my name again is Cashé Arielle. I'm a 32-year-old mother, student. Business owner. I work in the lines of marketing and communications. I call myself a Marcom strategist, and sometimes people may say, like, what is Marcoms? It's basically marketing and communications put together. And so it leaves me under the umbrella of working with public relations, marketing strategy, administrative, organizational leadership, just different things to make your brand, business, or mission seen, heard, and valued by others that may not know who you are or know what you have to offer. I'm that person that comes in and give that brand awareness, strategy, and that voice, and help you create that. And what else? I did say I'm a mom. I'm a mom of two daughters. My oldest daughter, she's 13, and my youngest daughter is 9. I'm a true Capricorn. We're about our business. We're very goal oriented, and we always finding a way to make some money. So I'm always trying to, even not myself, just helping pour into my clients or people who I don't even know. If I see that they have something that's worth being monetized, or I see that they're trying to pursue something, like yourself, just meeting you on Threads platform and how we connected. I'm all about supporting. I'm all about uplifting. And
Yes.
I'm a heart surgery survivor as well. I know I don't look like what I've been through, but I'm 1 year and 8 months post-op from having heart surgery on March 15th of 2023. So I have a lot to offer the world. I know that my story is not done being told or unfolding. And
Right.
so I wanted to make sure I came on your platform to share my story.
Absolutely. So, can you give us a little insight about, I know you were talking about cancer, how that, took place, what you dealt with during that time?
Yes, so with my in regards to cancer, my aunt, she had cancer. That's a very near and dear subject to me. She is a
Okay.
survivor. I personally have not had to deal with it myself, but I
Okay.
do have family members who have went through that, who, that illness. I've seen some people fight through it. I've seen some people what may look like they lost the battle really did not lose the battle because they fought to the very end.
Right.
So I've had older family members who had cancer. I had younger family members who have cancer. I recently lost one of my great aunts to cancer, which is why we had rescheduled our initial interview,
Yes.
because there was just so much going on with my great aunt. However, like I said, I've seen the ups and downs of it. I got introduced to that illness at an early age at 13 years
Right.
old. My grandfather, he was like my father. I watched him, just his, get smaller, get weaker
Right.
from the sickness, and I just never liked it. And I was 13 at the time, and so I definitely commend anyone who perseveres through that illness. And as far as like anything that like I've went through that was severe, like my heart surgery, that was something that I found out about at a very early age as well. I was 7 when I
Okay.
found out that I had a heart murmur. Um, I was told that I had a rare condition called Kawasaki disease. And some people may know what that is and some people may not, but it deals with your heart, it deals with your blood flow, your blood cells, and things like that. And I basically had a hole in my heart, and we didn't find out until I was 7.
Wow.
So I remember being very sick. My mom, she had to like really do everything for me, get me dressed. I couldn't walk. I was very limp and weak and things like that. And I stayed in the hospital for about a few weeks. And they ran tests. That's how they determined that I had Kawasaki disease and that I had a heart murmur. But fast forward till now, what caused me to have heart surgery was that
Mm.
it wasn't a small hole, it was actually a hole the size of a golf ball. So it was a huge
Goodness.
hole that needed to be closed. And if I had not had the surgery, I could have potentially stroked out. I could have potentially died. And so I went through a phase in my life where I was like, I never was depressed before, but in
Mm-hmm.
that sense, I was depressed because it was like, in my situation, it was like there is a 50% chance, 50% chance that if I
Right.
don't have this surgery, I could still end up passing, and I have young children, or I can go through this surgery and there's a 50% chance that I won't come out of this surgery.
Right.
But as you can see, I'm here today. So even after the healing process of my surgery, I found, I found my rhythm, and I still know that there's a purpose for me. So every day I go hard. I slowed down a bit, took a lot off my plate, but I
Mhm.
still go hard for the second chance of life I was given.
Wow. So I know that you were 7 years old when you were diagnosed and they told you you had a murmur. As you got
hmm
older, dealing with that, how did that affect you? I know you said you were depressed. Did you
hmm
have any coping mechanisms?
So one, initially from the time I found out about it at 7 until about 2020, I hadn't even thought about it. I was just up and moving and going like as normal. But I knew growing up that I didn't have the same energy as other children my age. Like I wanted to do sports, but I couldn't do sports because I would, quickly get out of breath, or I would, feel fatigued. And
Right.
so I knew there was an issue, but for whatever reason, we know that everything that in our life happens for a reason. So there was a reason why I didn't pay attention to it so closely during that time frame. Because it brought me to where I'm at now. But I would just remember just being, so fatigued and not being able to do things like other kids. And I ended up later on down the line, like going into like 2020, 2020, I started like noticing that my health was being affected by it. So
Right.
I'm like having a fast heart rate. I'm not able to eat certain things like I could, not
Right.
able to sleep and things like that. And they were just trying to equate it to anxiety.
Right.
And one thing I know that about Black women, we get turned down a lot by doctors. They feel that we don't know our bodies. And, even in this time now with, the election that just took place and things like that, those type of topics are, and those things that happen in those elections when they're speaking and things like that, those things still affect us because
Right.
of healthcare and insurance and things of that nature. And us as Black women, we deal with the lows of that a lot. Because like I said, either one, we're being charged, they want to charge us for things that doesn't even apply to our body or our health, or we're telling them how we feel and they're like, oh, that's nothing. Like, we basically get brushed off.
Right.
And so from 2020 to 2023, that's what was happening with me. I basically just got brushed off and was told, oh, it's just anxiety. There's
Right.
nothing to worry about. And then here we go, 3 years later, I'm on an operating table having to have a foreign object placed in my heart for me to be able to live a conducive life.
Right.
So yeah. It's very tough. I don't think that a lot of people understand as Black women the things that we endure, and that we persevere through.
Absolutely. I agree with that. If you don't have a good doctor, if you're feeling like the vibes is off when you go to that office,
Mm-hmm.
leave. Do not stay there.
Yes.
Leave.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
So,
Yes.
do you have any misconceptions that people may have when you tell them that you had a heart murmur?
I think that a lot of times people instantly when I tell people I had heart surgery,
Right.
even though they're looking at me standing there post surgery, they
Mm-hmm.
still go to a place of feeling sorry for me. And I
Right.
don't want people to feel sorry for me. Like when I say I'm a heart surgery survivor, I say that loud, proud, and because there I know that there's many that went before me that did not make it out on the other side
Right.
of it. So for me at 32 years old to have such a severe and serious surgery and to be able to walk, and talk and operate and handle business as a mom, a student, a business owner, a friend, or a daughter, sister, whatever the case may be, to be
Right.
able to do that after the fact is a blessing.
Right.
So, I don't want people to feel bad when I say, oh, I had a heart murmur and then I had, and what ended up happening was they diagnosed me with, I had an ASD, which is like a really big hole. And so they had to, you know, fill that hole. And so for me, it's like, for me to have endured all of that and to still be here today, I don't want anyone to feel bad for me. When I tell people that, I want them to be like, that is such a blessing that you're still here.
Right.
I wanted to motivate, people that you can really be at the very end of a very serious life threatening situation, or apply it to anything. You could literally be going through something that you feel like I can't make it through it.
Right.
And I want my testimony to be proof, that you can make it through anything.
Absolutely. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
So,
Yes.
did you have any problems as far as like, I know you said certain foods make your heart beat faster due to like sugars. Have you have any other restrictions that the doctor told you after your surgery?
So after surgery, I was told like I couldn't lift heavy things, wasn't supposed to like bend over. I had to take it easy.
Right.
And because of the type of surgery I had, so they have like this new advanced technology in medicine now. So
Hmm.
because of my age, I qualify for the new way of doing things. So instead of them cutting me, doing open heart surgery and cutting my skin on my chest, they were
Hmm.
able to cut a hole, or a slit into where my growing area was,
Okay.
and do the surgery through there. Put the tubings and things through there and put the cameras down through my throat and stuff like that while I was under, anesthesia, etc.
Right.
And they were able to do that surgery to where it didn't have, it didn't look us, it didn't have to look like I went through that. So I feel like, it definitely, it gives people, I want people to know that, like, you don't have to look like what you've been through. You can get through it all, and so
Right.
because they went through my growing and they were able to fill that hole, I was able to maneuver, and I thought like, oh, I can go home and I can do what I want to do, because they released me 24 hours after surgery. So I thought that I could just get up and go and just do things as normal because they released
Right.
me. And my body was like, no, because this is a foreign object that has never been in my body before. The
Right.
tissue had to grow over it. And so because of that, I felt worse before I felt better.
Right.
So even having that surgery, I still, from March until like August of last year, I was in and out of the hospital and at the
Right.
emergency room, at the doctor's office. I had to even like change my cardiologist to get more answers because I wasn't satisfied with the answers and the things that I was getting. And so the restrictions were, not to lift, not to bend down. But I think that there should have just been more restrictions that just weren't stated.
Right.
And from that I ended up getting um fluid around my heart, which they didn't tell me that I would potentially get fluid around my heart, which is called pericarditis. But
Mm.
I end up going through paperwork as I was trying to find a cardiologist, and I end up seeing it typed up in my discharge papers. So they didn't tell me
What?
this. Yes, they didn't tell me this. That's something you tell someone. Like, you could
Right.
potentially, these are the risks of having this surgery. Now, we know the number one risk could have been life or death, right?
Right.
But we don't know the other risk that comes from that. So you have blood clots. We talked about the blood clots, but we never talked about the fluid. We never talked about that you could potentially get fluid around your heart. And so I
Right.
ended up getting fluid around my heart, but didn't know that it was fluid there. until I switched providers. And once I switched providers, I was able to get that information. So, like I said, I just think that us Black women, or women in general, you have to advocate for yourself. I tell people that all the time. I always
Right.
have people message me saying that they're having heart patient symptoms, like they're having fast heart rates, or they're feeling like they're having anxiety attacks and things like that. Fight for your health.
Absolutely. Fight for your health. What
Yeah.
in the world?
Yes.
I would have been like, hold on, wait.
Exactly. I'm like, now y'all didn't tell me this, so I gotta go somewhere else to somebody who didn't do my surgery to find out that he does an echo and sees fluid. Who
Right.
knows how long that fluid been there? I mean, literally, I found out I had fluid in June. My surgery was in March. So,
Did you
mhm,
have a really good supportive system?
yes, I did.
Awesome.
Though I was in another state, because I'm not from Atlanta, but I moved to Atlanta in 2022. My mom, she flew in, and then some of my mom's friends and some of my relatives that lived, maybe an hour or two outside the city. They came and checked in on us. At the time, my significant other and my children, they were there by my side through it. So, I had a great support system. Had I not had them, I probably don't know where I would have been.
Right. That helps a lot going through that. If
Yes.
someone needed some advice from you, someone in the audience watching this video right now, they
Mhm.
may be going through what you went through. What advice would you give them?
I would tell them, one, especially if it's your heart health, ask for certain tests. I tell people all the time, and I know this is not a heart awareness month, but this is something I advocate for 365 days. One, you want to always make sure that you have a compassionate doctor, that you have someone that's willing to go the extra mile to do extra research to find out what's going on with you, someone that knows your background. And I'm not talking about your family history, I'm talking about your cultural history. Black women, we deal with a lot of high cholesterol. A lot of Black women die from those type of things, and heart disease. So you want someone that can really dig deep into those type of things. You also want to make sure that you ask for certain tests. Don't wait for them to offer tests to you. Make
Right.
sure you ask them to do stress tests. Make sure you ask them to do echoes. Don't just let them do EKGs on you. Ask for echoes to be done. Ask for, like I said, the stress test, bubble studies, to make sure that your heart valves are functioning properly. Those type of things.
Right.
And ask for heart monitors and things like that. So ask for those things and get those tests inconclusive, maybe blood tests as well. Get those things taken care of. There were so many things that I had got tested for: lupus, because all these things tie in. So
Right.
they thought I maybe was a patient who had lupus that was just lying dormant. I did a lot of testing for that. Anemia. So hematologists are very key, and also your heart health, because, like I
Right.
said, all these things play a part. So just make sure you do your own research, not just look on Google and then it's telling you you're gonna die tonight. Like, we're not talking about that. We're not talking about that. But
Right.
do your research. See what your symptoms are, and then don't go to the doctor and say, this is what I have because Google told me. No, you could say, this is what I researched, and I want to know if I possibly could be a candidate or qualify under these symptoms that I have for this
Right.
specific diagnosis. You never want to go to them making it seem like you know more than they do, but you want to pose everything as a question, everything as
Right.
curiosity, but also be passive aggressive. So that way you can get the care and the attention that you need.
That's awesome. So, is there a way that we can connect with you?
Yes, you can follow me on Facebook, Threads, Instagram at Cashé Arielle. On Instagram, it's Cashé __Arielle, Arrielle. On Facebook, it's just Cashé Arielle. On Threads, it's Cashé Arielle. Those are my places. You can even also find me on LinkedIn. I don't have a savvy profile on there just yet, because I've been running away from it because it just
Right.
seems so challenging. But I did say before the end of the year, I do want to get more connections on LinkedIn. So if you have a LinkedIn, feel free to connect with me there and just watch the journey. Every day you're seeing a miracle whenever you see my work publicized, or you see me posting, or me engaging, or me uplifting or sharing. That's proof that you can make it through anything.
Absolutely. You can make it through anything. That's a word,
Yes,
okay?
yes,
So make
ma'am.
sure you guys reach out to her if you have any questions. If you're dealing with what she just talked about, reach out to her, send her a DM, and just go see what she has going on. It will be linked in the description box below this video. And the last thing I have to ask you, and I'm starting to ask my guests now because I realize how important it is. How are you feeling right now in this season?
Right now, I'm in a place of, I won't say content, but I'm in a place of persevering. I just started therapy. I think that in this healing journey that I'm on, both professional and personal, that therapy is key. You always got God, but you also need to talk to a professional clinician.
Right.
And so I just started back in therapy yesterday, and that's big for me because I'm in a season of accountability. I'll say that. I'm
Yes.
in a season of accountability, where I don't care if someone caused hurt or dismay to me. I have to take accountability for how I allowed that to happen.
Right.
Even my health. How do I allow certain things to happen? How can I change the narrative? How can I make sure that I stay well? So it's
Right.
all about accountability and perseverance for me.
Absolutely. Well, I want to say thank you for taking the time out of your busy day, okay? The
Thank
the
you.
mom that wears many hats, and
Yes,
blessing my platform. You're always welcome to come back.
thank you.
Anything else you would like to say?
Y'all just be great. Strategize and get with whatever you need to get to where you need to go.
Amen. And with that being said, thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you guys like, comment, and smash that subscribe button. It does help the channel for me to continue to put out more content like this, women empowerment. And stay tuned for what's to come. Bye.
Yes. Thanks for having me. See you all later.